Hello guys, what is up? Is everything okay for you? I hope yes. Today on this video we will see how Charles Leclerc takes the first pole of the year and how he beated Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz on Q3. Let us go. But before the video starts, I need a fast help from you. Subscribe, give a like on this video if you enjoy this kind of content, and tell us in the comments if you like this kind of information and video, okay? It is really important for us. No more talking, let us go to the video. Leclerc will start before Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz in the second Ferrari after the 1-hour qualifying meeting, which is separated into 3 segments with 5 vehicles each being taken out in Q1 and Q2 before the vitally tense shootout of Q3. Leclerc astonished to beat Verstappen in Bahrain F1 qualifying. Ferrari Formula 1's Charles Leclerc says he was shocked to beat Max Verstappen and Red Bull in Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying in the wake of beating the best on the planet to post by 1/10. At the site where he took his very first F1 shaft in 2019, Leclerc got the best position again at Saka after a nail-gnawing qualifying shootout, which highlighted 3 drivers inside 0.129s. After the principal set of Q3 runs, Leclerc needed to make do with second behind Ferrari colleague Carlos Sainz. However, on his second lap he went a tenth speedier to keep both the Spaniard and Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who scratched second by a simple 0.006s, under control. While Ferrari had looked solid all pre-season, Leclerc said the Maranello group was persuaded Red Bull would in any case be faster more than 1 lap, and he said his shaft accordingly came as a shock. We were almost certain that Red Bull would have been without a doubt faster than us in qualifying, however a decent treat. It wasn't true, Leclerc said in Parc Ferme. So presently we really want to thoroughly take care of tomorrow. It won't be simple. Tyre the board will be significant and it weight this year, so we want to zero in on that and ideally have a decent race tomorrow. The Monegasque driver, who scored his 10th shaft in F1 and his first since Baku last year, said he actually wasn't totally content with his driving as drivers and groups are as yet understanding their all-new apparatus for 2022. It was an extremely precarious qualifying meeting. I was not totally content with my driving, and figured out how to do the lap in Q3 and afterward beginning from shaft, so exceptionally blissful, he added. From the driving point, it's totally unique contrasted with the year before. Testing was extremely helpful for this. I attempted a wide range of driving styles yet need to view as the ideal one. There's something else to come ideally from us. Leclerc said it was extra compensating that the group has had the option to utilize the 2022 standards reset to take a jump forward following a few relaxed a very long time for the Scuderia. The most recent 2 years have been unquestionably hard for all the group, and we were very confident that this year was a valuable chance to be back, he made sense of. I think we have functioned admirably collectively to wind up in a situation to battle for better places, so I'm exceptionally content with today. What happened in Q1? Verstappen set the early bar in Q1 by lapping in 1 minute and 31.909 seconds, 0.474s speedier than his associate Sergio Perez, who ran wide at the last corner having beaten the Dutchman's middle region time. Kevin Magnussen got an early P2 for Haas before Valtteri Bottas snatched it away for Alfa Romeo, just 0.01s off Verstappen. Ferrari then, expected order, with Leclerc taking the best situation on 1 minute and 31.471 seconds, 0.096s speedier than associate Sainz. Hamilton took P5 for Mercedes, now 0.8 off the speed, while Russell beat him on an ensuing push lap on his initially set of tyres. The very best 3 vehicles and the Mercedes group didn't run again on a second game plan of fragile tyres, with Magnussen getting out up to 5th before Esteban Ocon, Alpine, Pierre Gasly, AlphaTauri, and Lando Norris, McLaren, pushing the Mercs back to the lower extents of the fundamental 10. Falling at the essential obstruction were Yuki Tsunoda, AlphaTauri, Nico Hülkenberg, subbing for Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin, Daniel Ricciardo, McLaren, Lance Stroll, Aston, and Nicolas Latifi, Williams. What happened in Q2? Verstappen dove straight into the 1 minute and 30-second segment, with a 1 minute and 30.757 seconds that was 0.6 clear of Leclerc and Perez. Magnussen was 4th speediest after the underlying runs, despite encountering a water-driven issue with his power controlling, before Hamilton and Russell. Sainz then, at that point, improved to second on his new tyre run, 0.030s off Verstappen, with Leclerc 0.175s off the speediest time in third. Perez was fourth, before Hamilton, Russell, Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, Alpine, Gasly and Bottas. Taken out now were Esteban Ocon, Alpine, Mick Schumacher, Haas, Norris, Alex Albon, Williams, and Guan Yu Zhou, Alfa Romeo, the last choice losing his best time due to outperforming track limits. Bahrain Grand Prix Q2 results, Verstappen speediest from Sainz. What happened in Q3? On the essential runs, Sainz set the bar at 1 minute and 30.687 seconds, 0.044s faster than Leclerc, with Verstappen 0.012s off a first segment spot, grumbling about tyre temperature and outlap speed, and Perez in fourth, before Hamilton and Russell, the Mercs both laying out their specific moments on used softs. On the last runs, Leclerc took P1 with 1 minute and 30.558 seconds, with Verstappen going second, 0.123s all the more sluggish. Sainz slipped to third, before Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Magnussen, who ended at turn 1 directly following completing his lap, Alonso, Russell and Gasly. Bahrain Grand Prix Q3 results, Leclerc takes the first pole of the year. What about Hamilton? He said, "I'm truly cheerful to qualify fifth for Bahrain GP." Lewis Hamilton says he was, for the most part, truly cheerful to qualify fifth for the Formula One Bahrain Grand Prix with a Mercedes that was a cycle of a bad dream to drive. Seven-time best on the planet Hamilton was almost 7/10 behind pole-sitter Charles Leclerc's Ferrari, and 6/10 behind the Red Bull of 2021 title rival Max Verstappen, conceding that the two vehicles are in another association. However, in spite of qualifying off the front two columns, something which happened to him just a single time in 2021, Hamilton says he was satisfied with how the group had alleviated the taking care of issues that seemed to torment the new Mercedes W13. In the wake of beating new partner George Russell by almost a second as the previous Williams driver battled to 10th, Hamilton said, "I won't say I'm feeling better. I'm for the most part truly content with today given where we've been in the last two most recent couple of weeks, the battles that we've had, the issues we've had with the vehicle. It's been a digit of a bad dream to drive, yet we've recently held our heads down and warded working off, so I'm glad for everybody for simply remaining positive. To get fifth in qualifying, those folks in front of us are in another association, so I'm for the most part content with where we are. It's not the first column, but rather we'll make upgrades, and we'll do all that can be expected." After Friday practice, Hamilton and Russell had previously brought up Red Bull and Ferrari were as long as a second speedier on high fuel runs, which surrendered the Brackley group to a few days of harm constraint. Hamilton recognized he wouldn't have the option to contend with one or the other group on Sunday and would rather be centered around the battle for fifth against any semblance of Valtteri Bottas, his previous colleague who qualified a striking sixth for Alfa Romeo, or the similarly amazing Haas returnee Kevin Magnussen in seventh. "Those folks, Red Bull and Ferrari, will disappear, so we're not in the battle with those," he conceded. "They were a second in front of us yesterday through race pace, so my fight is with the folks behind in all probability. Obviously, I'll attempt to be as quick as possible and excel. However, as I said, their exhibition is a lot in front of us." What Sainz said, "I am alleviated to battle for post in the wake of feeling exceptionally a long ways behind Leclerc." Carlos Sainz felt alleviated to battle for post position in Bahrain in the wake of feeling he was exceptionally a long ways behind Ferrari Formula One colleague Charles Leclerc heading into qualifying. Sainz uncovered after Friday's work on running at the Bahrain International Circuit that he was attempting to comprehend the Ferrari F1-75 vehicle over the short runs, passing on him with work to do expedite. In any case, he returned in qualifying by taking temporary shaft in Q3 in front of Leclerc and Red Bull's Max Verstappen, just to slip to third during the last runs. The Spaniard ended up 0.129 seconds off Leclerc's post time, however felt satisfied to have even been in the battle in the wake of battling through training. "It's been an extremely challenging end of the week for me, I've been sluggish, basic as that," said Sainz. "Charles has been improving position than me the entire end of the week, and I have been playing make up for lost time. Truly, there's been focuses this end of the week that I was extremely a long ways behind, so when I hit quali and I was battling for post, I was a smidgen more feeling better. In the last lap, Leclerc did a generally excellent lap. I think he set up everything, and by then, you simply need to compliment and say great job to the group. It's extraordinary information to retaliate in shaft position, first time for me additionally battling for post. Indeed very intriguing and invigorating times ahead. The 1-3 denoted a great revisitation of structure for Ferrari, which has neglected to dominate a race since Singapore 2019 subsequent to seeing its structure droop drastically in 2020, making keep going season 1 zeroed in on recuperation. Ferrari had been tipped to begin firmly in Bahrain in the wake of intriguing through pre-season testing, however Sainz said the group had stayed zeroed in on executing everything impeccably, and wouldn't get out of hand with this outcome. We haven't accepted anything that it would have been simple, Sainz said. I figure we did an extremely smooth quali, no errors. I think we really want to move it that way along into tomorrow. I see the group engaged, certain, however not arrogant and not over-celebrating by any stretch of the imagination. We have the truth that we realize we are Ferrari, this is back where we ought to be, and we can't be so invigorated. It's clearly uplifting news, and everybody will be blissful today. In any case, it's as yet quite far to go in the year, and it's just the first quali and first race. How about what Max Verstappen says about Bahrain GP qualifying runs, were big wins or big losses, he said. Max Verstappen says irregularities during his Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying runs implied he barely passed up post position for the 2022 Formula 1 opener. The Red Bull driver went into qualifying having topped both FP2 and FP3, and in spite of additionally going quickest in Q2, he missed out to Charles Leclerc's position shootout by 0.123s. The protecting F1 best on the planet yielded his Red Bull vehicle balance was noticeably flawed in Q3, yet implied it might have been down to his group zeroing in on a more grounded vehicle setup for the race contrasted with qualifying. Verstappen was likewise heard over group radio miserable about being told to do a more slow readiness lap in his first Q3 run. I think it was a P sometimes good, sometimes bad. Q2 appeared to be very great and Q3 was somewhat of a battle to get the equilibrium together, however by the by I think it was okay, Verstappen said. We have a decent vehicle too, and toward the day's end that is the most significant, and it's a decent day. It's a decent begin to be around. Not awesome but rather additionally not really awful, if not you can't be here, so there are a couple of things to investigate and attempt to concentrate to be better for some time later. You need to be amazing in qualifying, yet you additionally need to ensure your vehicle is working for the race on the grounds that the focuses are scored there. It was great, having a decent fight with Carlos and Charles toward the end, who both worked effectively over the colder time of year, so I trust it will be an intriguing race. Both Red Bull and Ferrari interpreted empowering pre-season and practice pace into locking out the main 4 spots, with Leclerc and Verstappen on the first column in front of Carlos Sainz taking 3rd spot for Ferrari in front of Verstappen's colleague Sergio Perez in 4th. It implied Lewis Hamilton drove the Mercedes exertion in 5th spot, north of 0.6 of a second off Leclerc's pole lap time, as his partner George Russell battled in Q3 by securing at turn 1 on his last lap to see him drop to 10th spot. Verstappen associated Mercedes' cases with its being off the front-running pace were misleading after pre-season testing, however having seen the ruling F1 World Constructors' bosses battle during Bahrain GP qualifying, he gave a mocking, incredibly, in response to being inquired as to whether he was frustrated to see Mercedes such a long ways down the request. Congratulate Charles Leclerc for his first pole and Ferrari that is back. Are you enjoyed this video? So please give us your like, activate the bell, share and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything we will show here. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.